Bitcoin is breaking one of the most important levels of resistance right now here, and on today's update video I will be exactly discuss why this is happening right now here. I'm gonna go over the most important news stories which all came out in only the last 24 hours. I will talk about the massive CME gap Bitcoin is currently creating and much more important charts about Ethereum and how BlackRock is basically stating that Ethereum is undervalued right now here, and I will be exactly talking about what they're currently doing with it and much more here. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes. Will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So to kick off the video, we're currently looking at a major CME gap on Bitcoin. And I mean, Bitcoin is heavily pumping right now here. And there is one big reason why this is actually happening. And let me go straight away in towards the reason, because the reason is due to the fact that the White House announced that they're going to scale back the April 2nd tariff plan. And that was basically then already priced in the market. And that is ultimately something super bullish. They're just going to be having less tariffs. And of course, we do know tariffs, they crash the market. And if they will not come with any tariffs, it's going to be ultimately great for the markets. Then also, Meta Planet bought over 150 Bitcoin worth around $30 million yesterday, which is of course, once again, quite a great development. And while all this was happening, Bitcoin is right now starting to be breaking outside of the major downward sloping trend line we've been watching for all this time here. We've been looking at this consolidation phase with, of course, a significant downward sloping resistance line, an upward sloping support line, and now we're finally breaking outside of this consolidation phase. I mean, Bitcoin has been getting rejected for over 30 days in a row from of this exact downtrend right here, and now we're breaking above it. And what is going to be even more crucial is that Bitcoin is right now also going to confirm a break above the previous high, and that is currently clearly what we're retesting right now. So if we can start to break above the previous high in the market right now for Bitcoin, it is going to be something very great for the market, because ultimately that is showing and indicating to us that the market is gaining more strength here. And like I said also in previous videos, the level which we're currently trading against is a very important level, because if I'm going to be making this level a little bit thicker, give it a little bit of a different color, you will see how important this level exactly is here. You can see here it flipped into support, then into resistance, then into support, once again another time of support. Here we got rejected, and now we're trying to be breaking above this level. So if Bitcoin can break and confirm above this level, which is $87,000, it is going to be meaning something very great for the entire market. Further on, we are starting to see that on the bigger time frames, we are creating that breakout and diving even further in towards the news here. And of course, diving even further in towards the news here, guys, we do know that the US government is creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve and that they are already holding over $16 billion worth of Bitcoin right now here. And many other billionaires in the world right now as well are buying Bitcoin as a hedge of inflation. But what you do need to understand here is that the White House has stated potentially, this is of course not confirmed, but they said potentially, because they're exploring ways on how to accumulate more Bitcoin, they're going to sell some of their gold reserves to be buying more Bitcoin, because they want to not involve any tax paying money, and they maybe are going to swap around some assets that they currently have here. So very interesting in my opinion. Then of course the United States of America, they were basically hinting that they're going to sell off some gold to buy Bitcoin, and if they would be buying 1 million Bitcoin today here, guys, they would spend about $84 billion, and this would only mean that they're going to be selling approximately 11% of their gold reserve, which is totally worth about $750 billion. So honestly, if this would be happening, you could likely understand that if they buy 1 million Bitcoin, it's heavily going to be inflating the price as well here. So honestly, we're still so early for what is about to be happening right now. Then Trump is also shilling his own cryptocurrency meme coin. Trump, of course, on Truth Social, and Michael Saylor is hinting that he's likely going to be buying some more Bitcoin anytime soon here. So ultimately, very great developments. The only bad thing is that we're creating now a major CME gap on the lower side. I mean, we've created many of them before as well. And currently still, while we're getting quite excited, Bitcoin is indeed breaking the downward sloping trend lines, we are still seeing Bitcoin trading ultimately in a daily downtrend. So in order for Bitcoin to be flipping the daily downtrend, I want to see a break of the EMA ribbon and also a break of the previous highs on the daily time frame. So yeah, we are still definitely trading in a downtrend on the daily time frame. The lower time frames could potentially swap around and turn a little bit more bullish, but ultimately we need to see that reversal also on the bigger perspective. I mean, I've talked about this such kind of a consolidation phase for quite a long time here. Usually after a long period of consolidation, you see some manipulation and then you see the big pump towards the upside. And honestly, honestly, with the news we're getting from Donald Trump and the US government itself, they could potentially be one of the catalysts for this to really be happening. And like I said here, as long as Bitcoin is holding the legendary trend line, I think everything is looking quite okay on Bitcoin right now. Then of course, also if I'm looking at the hyper liquid liquidation heat map, we can still definitely see that the majority of the liquidations are laying above us. So it is actually likely that the Bitcoin price is going to be attracted more towards the upside. Then quickly going over my trades, guys. If you've copied any of my Bitcoin, Ethereum trades, they're all doing great here. My Bitcoin trade up over 35%. My hyper liquid trade, which I thought was quite undervalued, which I also showed in my stream, which was then in a loss still, is now in about 80% profit, making me $18,000 which is of course quite insane here. So guys, if you want to be copying any of these trading strategies yourself here, or if you want to be setting up your own one, go to the highest link description of today's video, where you can either find a link to my exact Bitcoin trading strategy, my Ethereum trading strategy, which you can exactly copy right now, or you can sign up an account to Pionex, where you can claim an insane free $1,000 deposit bonus and set up your own trading bot with your own parameters, or you can just copy mine. So whatever you want, of course. So very exciting. At the same time, Bitcoin is still in a bigger consolidation phase. If you're looking at the weekly time frame, major upward sloping support line, major resistance on the top side. And yeah, like I stated in many previous videos before as well here, we are technically speaking, if we're going to compare this cycle to all the previous ones, in a bull market, and it's likely still to go on till the end of 2025 here. I mean, maybe it's gonna end earlier. If we have learned something from the previous cycles, it always lasts till the end of this year. So yeah, this is also still the consensus I currently are having. And honestly, if this would be repeating, it is going to be sending Bitcoin, of course, much, much higher. Because for the ones that don't know it, always in the last part of the bull market is where the most exponential gains are always realized. So extremely excited for that here. Looking forward towards that as well. And quickly giving a brief update on Ethereum, because Ethereum, it has been, of course, quite undervalued. It has been the most hated rally I've seen in the entire cryptocurrency market right now here. Everyone is hating on Ethereum while it is sitting on this weekly support. Of course, we do know that BlackRock, the head of digital assets from BlackRock, is saying that the negativity surrounding Ethereum is probably overdone here. And also, for the ones that don't know it, the BlackRock built assets on the management on Ethereum are surpassing $1 billion. And you can see clearly from March, they have been accumulating a lot recently here. So what do they know? They are clearly positioning themselves in the Ethereum ecosystem. So that is very interesting. And also you have to understand that Fidelity digital dollar will be going live on the 30th of May on Ethereum. And Fidelity manages over $5.8 trillion in assets. And they are, of course, launching things on Ethereum. Guys, this is really a big development. Also, BlackRock has stated that they're working on implementing staking on the Ethereum ETF. And if that would be happening, it is going to allow a lot of capital to flow in towards Ethereum. And I feel like no one is really talking about this. And I feel like still Ethereum is quite undervalued. And it is outperforming Bitcoin ever so slightly on the immediate short term. But I do still have the idea that a lot of people are sleeping on it here. So this was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy it, learn something from it, don't forget to slap on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.